Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of Ecamm Advanced. And today we're going to just basically follow on from where we left off yesterday. I hope that you had time to play around with the camera switcher and take that challenge yesterday with trying to build out some scenes using those placeholder cameras. And you can see what a cool feature it now is. Well, today we're going to be talking about screen sharing. And this is a bit similar to the camera switcher, really, in that the name sort of belies the functionality that it gives. So there is a lot more to it than just simply sharing something on the screen. In fact, one of the questions that I got a lot yesterday, if I look through the comments in yesterday's video, so many people asked about just even this transition and how do I get the camera to slide over. And it's all done through using screen sharing into Keynote, or rather screen sharing Keynote into Ecamm, and using some of the animated features or animation features within Keynote as well. So that's the power of screen sharing, is it allows you to combine multiple different things and bring them all into Ecamm. So I'll be showing you exactly how I did that a little bit later on. So the schedule for today then, or the agenda rather, is first of all just a brief intro to screen sharing, looking at some of the probably more basic features and the settings that you might want to be aware of. Then we'll be looking at screen layouts, and I'll be talking about specifically when I'm creating tutorials, because I've got a YouTube channel where I make a lot of software tutorials, and so I'll be talking a little bit about my workflow in terms of that and how to sort of position everything nicely on the screen so that everything is just exactly where it should be. I've got a couple of tricks where that's concerned. Then we'll be looking at presentations and actually bringing presentations into Ecamm. I'm a big believer in the thing that basically old school presentations are a thing of the past. What you should be doing is creating immersive presentations where you're not just speaking to a set of slides over on the other side, traditional format slides. Rather, anything that you've got to present or talk about, just like these things that I've got down the side, should actually be a part of the the overall thing. It should be a total cohesive and immersive package. So that's what I'll be talking about in that section. And then finally, we'll be talking about some green screen feature that was added into the screen share overlays that allows you to do some other cool little tricks. I'll be talking about that as well. Just as yesterday as well, there is a download, and in fact the download is for today. It's not this PDF. It is in fact a Keynote file, which is a sort of little template. I'll be running through some examples when we come to that later on. So if you haven't registered, then definitely go and register to get that download and the downloads that are associated with every other day as well. And then don't forget, there is also that Zoom workshop on following Monday, where we can sort of go through any troubleshooting technical issues that you may be having, or answer any sort of questions face to face, as it were. So definitely go and register for that. So first off then, let's just talk about some of these the basic screen sharing functionality and where you might find screen sharing in Ecamm. And probably the easiest way to do that is just go straight over and go into demo mode, and then we'll just create a couple of scenes, and I'll just talk about where you can find these different settings. So I'm in the wrong page here. Let me come over to this one. This would help. There we go. This is going to seem a bit zoomed out, so I'll just zoom it in a little bit. If I just create a new scene in here, so I'm going to come and click this little plus icon, you do have the option in Ecamm to either have the entire sort of background of the scene be either a camera. So I can click here and it will make the whole scene a camera. It just happens to be this one over here. Or you can make it a screen share, in which case it's going to share some part of the screen. In this case, it's sharing the current application, which may well be Keynote. Or you can select a movie file. Personally, I never actually build out my scenes like this. I always start with a completely blank scene. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you can set that in settings. But also, if you come up to the source in the menu just up here, you can change this to blank. And what that's going to do is it's going to mean effectively you've got a blank canvas. Sorry for the zooming around here. You've got a completely blank canvas to work with. So that's the sort of starting point that I always use. The screen share then function is just down here. So we add a new screen share overlay. So if I click on that, it's going to pop a screen onto the canvas there, and we can just put it wherever we want into that scene. You've then got these little icons just to the left here where you can adjust some settings. So this is namely the actual display that you're on, or sorry, what you're sharing. So you've got the choice of either of your displays. I've got 4 displays attached, so I can choose any one of them. You can have it set to the current application. So therefore, if you were doing a demo where you're flicking between different apps, then it would always bring that app to the into the screen share. Or you can actually explicitly select certain apps from here instead. Now, there are some things to be aware of when you are sharing your screen. and sharing your apps. I beg your pardon. Got a very sore throat this today. And if I just make this a little bit larger, I do beg your pardon. If I make that a little bit larger, let me come into here. You'll have to excuse me 1 second. The trouble with having little children is they're always bringing viruses home from school. So in here, if you look in these settings, you've also got the option to change the size of it. So at the moment, this is just showing my entire desktop. And this thing up here, by the way, I'm kind of giving the game away a little bit later because I do actually have a Keynote presentation running here with a live video in. That's just a little sneak peek at what I'll be talking about later. But this is showing my entire desktop. You can change the size of it in here. So if you want it to be at any one of these other different sizes. And then you can also add a transition. I'm not going to talk about that. That's more just sort of animations in Ecamm, things coming in and out. And you can also change the styling of it in terms of the corner radius, the border width, and various different things like that. And I'll come into these other sections down here in a moment. But I want to just also take a look at the settings in the preferences as well, because there's some things to be aware of in there. So I'll just bring up the Ecamm settings. And here, what you want to have a look at is in the preferences under screen sharing, you've got a couple of options here. So where I was just sharing my entire desktop a moment ago, you've got the option to include desktop icons. So that means any, files and folders you've got on your desktop. You've also got the desktop picture as well, so you can exclude that if you just want to have it showing. I mean, I've got a black screen anyway, so that's what I have as my desktop. But if you add some sort of picture, you maybe not want that to go out into your production, so you can exclude that from in here with this one here to include the desktop picture. Now this one, add margin when zooming to an app or window. This will by default be on. And now if I come onto my my screen share again, I'll show you what this does. So let me just move this over. I'm actually using the screen share function at the moment to share the Ecamm Preferences window. So I can kind of demonstrate in real time what this is going to do. So if I come over here and click this one, add margin when zooming to an app or window, if I click this one on, what you'll see is, oh, I double clicked. Can you see how it's made this little border around the outside of the preferences window here? So we've got this extra little border just down the side. And if I click it off, then it's going to take it off. So you see how now it's basically filling that whole space. So I personally prefer to have them fill the whole space. And then usually what I will do is I'll actually just come into the overlay. Let me just unlock that scene. And then I would tend to actually crop in. So what you can do is hold down the Option key on either side like this, and then you can just drag to crop into that particular size. It's a bit of a bad example, this, because the Ecamm Live Preferences is one of these ones where as you change the thing, it will actually change size. So if I go to, for example, the audio section, it's actually changed the size of the window. So now we've cropped off the bottom a little bit, but you get the idea. You can sort of crop into certain things that way. Just still going through these preferences then, you've also got the option for optimizing for better quality and higher frame rate. So typically, you've got sort of a choice to make here. If you're showing something that is, highly detailed, you're going to want the higher quality. But if you're potentially sharing a video or something like that, then the frame rate might be more useful to you to have that prioritized. You've also got the option to show the mouse cursor. Now you'll see here that my mouse is displaying in your screen. You can see my little mouse pointer. But what you might have noticed yesterday and today is that if I come into demo mode, I'm actually using this other thing here, which actually shows the mouse on screen. I can put a big halo on the screen like this. I can spotlight areas of the screen. So it's really good for screen demos. And so one of the questions I get asked all the time is, first of all, what is that? So I'll drop that in the chat right now. It's an application called Pro Mouse. And I've got a whole tutorial that I did on that on my channel, so I've left a link to that as well, but I won't do the full tutorial. But basically, this is just an app that puts this little halo around the mouse. And the question I get asked all the time is, I've got Pro Mouse and it's not showing up in Ecamm. Why is that? Well, just as you can see here in this screen, Pro Mouse is showing up on my screen. it's showing up like above the preferences. But if you look just up above in the actual Ecamm window, you'll see that you're just seeing the mouse pointer, you're not seeing Pro Mouse. And the reason for that is that when you are in Ecamm and you're selecting a specific application that you want to use, you want to show in your screen share, it's going to do that to the exclusion of all of the other apps. And that includes Pro Mouse, because Pro Mouse is just another app. It's basically showing everything on your desktop, or it's only showing the one app on your desktop and excluding everything else. So if you want to have Pro Mouse show up in your screen share, what you actually have to do is share the entire desktop and then use that cropping that I talked about to crop in onto the specific app. So if I was going to be doing that right now on this scene, the way that I would create it would be if I just come back into here, just zoom in a little bit. So instead of in here selecting that I want to show the Ecamm Live preferences window, what I would actually do is I would come in here and select that I want to show the primary display. So now we're seeing the whole display. And then what I will do from here is I will then just reset the crop from this a minute, because once you've cropped things in, you've got this option here to reset. It's just going to take it full screen. Let me just change the size of this a second. I'll just change this to widescreen. So now we should see the full display. And I'm not seeing the, I've chosen a really bad example here because it actually excludes the Ecamm windows. Let me just use the Stream Deck here for an example instead. So I've got the Stream Deck. That was a really terrible example to use. I want to show this Stream Deck application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the Option key, and I am going to basically now crop into exactly where the Stream Deck application is. So I'm holding down Option. I'm cropping into just the app like this. 1 second. If I crop in, this is going to look really small just for the moment, but then what I can do is I can scale that back out and make it much larger on the screen. Now that I've zoomed in, I've not quite got the crop right, so I'll just adjust that. But what you'll see now is as I move the Pro Mouse over my Stream Deck, then you can see that that is also showing up in Ecamm. So just to sort of stop the screen share for a second, or the demo mode, you can see that you can see my Pro Mouse in my demo. But what you'll also notice is now it doesn't follow the app round. So as I move my Stream Deck app around on the screen, then it's going to move out of alignment. So how do you solve this problem of wanting to screen share something, show your Pro Mouse, and make sure that it's always perfectly lined up? Well, there is actually another great app that I swear by, and this is called Moom. And Moom is basically a window management app. And it allows you, and I've just dropped a link in the chat, it allows you to basically save snapshots of your screen. You put the apps where you want them, you save a snapshot, and then you can assign a keyboard shortcut, which you can then obviously assign to your Stream Deck as well, if you have a Stream Deck. And what that means is that with a touch of a button, your apps will always go exactly where you want them. Now, the way that I do my tutorials is I'm often showing multiple different things on the screen at any given time. So what I actually do is I've kind of split my screen sort of in my head up into different zones. So if I just take my sort of screen, my demo mode full screen, it's going to look really small on your screen. Don't worry about trying to pick out what everything is. But I basically split it up into, a 3x2. So this is a 43-inch monitor. So it's, a rather large size, and it's 4K. So I just sort of think about this with three across and 2 down. And then I've basically just done screen shares of each of those different areas. And then I've got basically 6 different scenes, which means that I've got 6 different areas that I can potentially share into. I hope that's making sense, but it means that then if I'm sharing this top corner, in fact, if I show you my Stream Deck here, what you'll notice is this is the way I've got my buttons. So this is the sort of bottom left area, top left, top center, and as it happens at the moment, I'm not using the others, but I have buttons for those that I sort of switch in. So it just means that I can always sort of switch to that area. And anytime I want to throw anything up on a particular app, I could always just press my Moom button to put it in exactly the right place so that it's all perfectly framed in the window. So that's the way that I tend to do that. When it comes to actually just sort of framing things up, though, and getting the sizes right, this is one thing that I often get asked on consultation calls and things like that. It's something that I find that people seem to struggle with a little bit, which is when you're trying to get things sized, and you've basically got two moving parts. You've got the actual size of the screen share overlay, but then you've got the size of the app window itself. So I thought I'd just show you a quick trick. I do beg your pardon. I thought I'd just show you a quick trick in terms of how to get that sort of all lined up. So if I come back into my demo mode, let me just stop for a second. I'll just quickly catch up with the questions because I realize I've gone through here and there's quite a few come through. So let me have a little look. Michael, that is going to be covered a little bit later. So that thing with the animation coming in, I'll be talking about that a little bit later on. When is it better to use screen share overlay versus screen share scene type? I always personally use overlays, so I rarely use the scene source being either a camera. I might use that for movies actually, because then in the rare occasion that I do use a movie, then that would be the scene source. But I always find that it's for the way that my mind works, I like to just start with a blank canvas and then add everything onto it. So I always just use overlays personally. And it's just got more flexibility, because if you want to have a board around it, like I've got here, for example, then it's much easier to do that. Whereas if you're going full screen, it is just going to take over the full screen if you've got the scene source as a screen share. So the blue circle, that is, I've dropped a link in the chat. I also went back and put them in the description as well for anyone watching on the replay. So that's Pro Mouse. That's what I'm using to do that. 4K for displays with the Mac Mini, that you just need a display link dock. So if you've got a dock that's got display link technology, you can use it. So I'm using a dock that has that. So yeah, I can have you can have more than two. They just can't be plugged directly into the Mac. I've mentioned that one, I think. How does the sharing window react when the relevant app is not yet open? I'll come to that actually. It does default to the desktop, so I'll show you that in a moment. Is there a way to not have the camera on or leave it turned off? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, because you can basically build out the scenes with anything you want in it. So you can either have a camera in or not. There is, when you're using the full screen share, you've got the picture in picture, so you can toggle that on and off. But if you build all the scenes out with camera overlays, screen share overlays, you're basically just deciding exactly what you want in every scene in any case. And the link to Moom, I think I've just dropped that in the chat, so that should be in there. If not, it's in the description though. Okay, so anyway, I digress. Let me get back to doing these layouts. So if I come into my scene again, and what I'm going to do is just create a completely new scene. I have actually got this thing that I created, which is I call it a scene layout template. It's basically just a grid, and it makes it really easy for me to sort of just drag and drop things and plop things on there, and get them to be, you know, fairly consistent in terms of the sizing. And then it's split up into sort of quarters and thirds with little gaps between it. So if I was going to create a screen sharing scene like this, for example, that might go to this third, and then I might add a camera overlay. Switch this to my other camera. Of course, I should be doing this with the camera switcher. I've just taken it off the screen for the time being. So if I use this one and then make that a bit smaller, change the size of it like this, maybe make that custom. And then we can put that over there. But it just makes it really easy to sort of size things up. It's not in the downloads actually for people who register, but I will send it over to make sure that it can get sent out. I do actually have a link for that somewhere, so maybe I can actually just drop that in. It's on one of these buttons. So I'll drop a link to this scene layout template just for sort of the way to lay things out. So what I was talking about though was this idea of how do you actually get this lined up if you have got a specific app that you're trying to get in the frame, as it were. And a good example, I suppose, might be a web page. So let me just come and get. I just realized I was not in demo mode there. So beg your pardon. So if I just get a web page open, I'm just going to open this up. And I'll just go to the Ecamm website. I should have prepared this, of course, before. If I come over to Ecamm, let's say that you have got this website on your page and you want to get that sort of framed up into your scene. I'll just pop that over there. So this is our scene where we want to get this framed, this particular window. And so what I'm going to do is we obviously want to say that we want to fill this space that we've got in here. So let's just say that we want to make this a this overlay completely fill the space. My computer's just having a little bit of a meltdown. There we go. And we want to basically fill this whole square that we've got just here. So we obviously need to bring the sides in a little bit to make it a bit smaller. And I want to crop in, so I'm going to hold down the Option key. I'm going to crop into this this window here. And I'm actually just going to try and make it exactly the same size as the window. We'll need to adjust this in a moment. But now I'm going to align it with the top corner where we want it. I'm going to drag it out to here. And obviously we can see it's not quite as wide as we need it. So there's a couple of things we can do here. We can either make it wider by holding down the Option key and dragging it out that way. But if we do that, we're actually going to end up with the window that we are trying to share being really wide. So maybe what we want to do is actually hold in the Option key and drag up here. And then I'm going to drag this side down here. So we're using the Option to crop in and out, and then we're just dragging left and right to bring it, to expand it. And now that we've got it the right width, I'm going to drag this down here by holding down the Option key and expanding it down. So now from the point of view of the actual scene itself, you can see that we've got the area where we're going to have the window that we're sharing, that is perfectly framed. But what we've now got is that this is dropping off the bottom. So what I find that people have an issue with is once they've got it right in Ecamm, when they start moving this around, that it messes up their framing. So the way to do it is to basically try and get this one aligned like this in terms of the top corner, and then just drag the bottom up until it is completely filling that space. And so it's a case of getting it right in Ecamm first, I find is the best way to do it, and then to adjust the size of the window to fit that space. The other thing that we're obviously sharing the whole desktop there. If I was to just get rid of this overlay and share a specific window, if you were going to do it with that method. So now I'm just going to come and share a window, which is specifically the Safari window. So if I come to here and share Safari and choose Ecamm Live, now this is where we've got the same sort of issue where it is basically, as I make that bigger, you can see that the Ecamm window is not completely filling the space. And if I change this to be a custom shape, so I'll come into here, whoops, like this. And then I'm just going to drag that. But can you see that as I'm dragging this around, it's trying to fit the Ecamm, the Safari window into that space of this overlay as best it can. So if I've got it really sort of flat like that, it's going to try and fit the height in. Whereas if I was to make this a really sort of tall, narrow thing, it's going to have these boxes at the top and the bottom because it can't fit it in. So here, once again, it's a case of getting it right in Ecamm for the overlay size, and then you can play around with the Safari window. So if you see that there are boxes on the side, it's a case of dragging it to make it wider. And if you see that there are boxes on the top and bottom, then it's a case of dragging it to make it taller. And then when you actually zoom out, because I'm just sort of zoomed into it at the moment, then you can see how that sort of fits on the screen. I hope that made I hope that made some sense. Sorry if that was not quite as clear as it could be, but let me know if you've got any question. Just quickly, Janice, the frame rate in Zoom, that's not what we're talking about in here. In here, we're talking specifically about the, what it's seeing in Zoom, in Ecamm itself. So there is a difference in the frame rate in Zoom where if it thinks you're sharing the screen, it's going to do something where it will prioritize the quality over the frame rate, where if you are your camera, Zoom will always prioritize the frame rate so that people's images don't look juddery. So we'll be talking about Zoom, though, and the virtual camera the day after tomorrow. So we'll be covering all of that then. So is demo mode only for showing how to use Ecamm, or can I use it for other teaching? To be honest, if you're going to be doing any other teaching, I would always just use regular screen shares, because then it gets the Ecamm interface out of the way. The point of demo mode is it is more for, and that is the demo mode, by the way. I often refer to it, but rarely actually explain it. Command-Shift-D is going to toggle on live demo mode in Ecamm, and that basically does this, shows all of the desktop. So yeah, it is more for showing off all of Ecamm. Otherwise, you could just use a screen share of the desktop to show everything that's going on your desktop. So this one says, do you use your grid to set the top left, bottom left, top center buttons? So yeah, the multiple shared overlays, that is using the Moom app. So basically, I know where these sort of places are on the screen, and then I use Moom to just put things where they need to be. So that's that. The actual grid thing that I popped up on the screen, which would be this one, if I just get rid of this. That's the one that I dropped the link in for as well. This is just for actually in Ecamm itself, for me to sort of figure out where to put things. And that's just something that I created. And basically where that sits then, in terms of how I use that, if I come back to here, if I look in my overlays, you can see show it in the background, and I've got this scene layout template, and I just toggle it on and off. And I've actually assigned it to a Stream Deck button as well, so that I can just basically toggle it off whenever I want by pressing the button on my Stream Deck when I'm just sort of doing some new layout or something like that. So that is a little bit about the way that I do my screen demos, and the Pro Mouse, which is the tool that I use for those demos, and how I sort of lay things out on the screen. The big thing, though, that I do want to get to is more about actually the presentation features that I was talking about, and how you can use those with screen sharing. So let's just come into my demo mode again. And what I'm going to show you is, just quickly to answer your question, Bianca. Yes, Moom works without Stream Deck. It actually sits in the little icons here. I can show you just quickly. I did drop a link into the full tutorial about it that I did, but it actually sits up here in these little three dots at the top of your windows. Let me just check if I'm sharing that. Yes, I am. So you can see that you can basically move things around to different monitors. You can drop things into different areas of the screen, but you've also got a whole series of different setups. So I've got setups for all the different things that I do in different screen areas. So these are those different screen areas that I've got. And by hitting these shortcuts, I can basically just any app that is the active app, I can push it into that particular place. So that's what that is for. Just one other thing before I move on, actually, on screen sharing, because I realized I neglected to mention one thing, which is if you do have a screen share overlay and it's set to a specific app, and then the app is no longer open, it does actually revert to the desktop. So for example, if I was to come into here, I'll just come into demo mode again, I'll add in a screen share overlay, and I'm going to set this to Stream Deck like that. So now it's showing the Stream Deck app. And what you'll notice is if I was to come in here and close down Stream Deck, it's going to just default to the desktop. So if I was to come out of that scene and go back into it, what you'd probably find is, well, actually, it's in the, I've put it in all scenes, so it's not quite working as I was expecting. But yeah, it will just revert to the full desktop. So that is what's going on with that one. So I think, let me just drop the Moom link in there. I think I already did put it, but I'll just drop it again. And we'll talk about the screen share in Zoom. There is a way that you can ask for, where you can just ask a Zoom for them to up your resolution. So I don't tend to use the screen share feature into Zoom because that has its own issues as well. So we will see. Katie, do I ever use NDL? NDL. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I do. I'm not sure what that is. You'll have to expand on that one a little bit. If that's, I'm getting confused with NDI. But no, I'm not sure that I do use that. Okay, so the other thing then that I want to start to talk about is the Keynote. And so the way that I've been doing these little transitions and things like that in Keynote, I'm bringing them in, and I'm talking about things like, if I just come over to here, these little graphics and things like that have been popping up on the screen. So things like this, sharing presentations, that little graphic that came on, that was actually an animation that was done in Keynote. And the way that I'm doing that, and also these transitions where you've seen the cameras moving, that's actually using some of the built-in transitions that you've got in Keynote itself. So I'll just come out of this scene and I will switch over to this one. I'll come out of my Keynote presentation for a second and then come over to here. So now we are in Keynote, and what you can see is that, in fact, I've actually got my video is in Keynote. So I've got my camera coming into Keynote, because in Keynote you've got this live video feature, and then basically anything that you can do with Keynote in terms of animations, you can then apply to the camera as well. So I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but if you check in the downloads, if you've registered, if not, then definitely go and check that download link or that registration link, and you will get this little template file. And it's only got a few things in, it's nothing advanced, but it's just to give you an idea of how this all works. And so what I've got here is basically 3 different scenes, 3 different slides, and they're using this live video feature. So the way that this works is that in this scene, I've got a camera, and you can just come in here to add the camera in. If you look up in this media tab up here, click on media, and then you've got this live video option. Now the live video option is may not work it doesn't work with virtual cameras, and it may not work with some other cameras. Like, for example, my old Canon coming in over USB, it didn't seem to like that one. But anything that's coming in over a capture card, it will recognize that. And so you can come over here and click on this, and then this is going to bring in a live video. So you can see that this is in Keynote itself. I'm not doing this in Ecamm now. Sorry, somebody's saying they can't see my screen. Are you seeing, you're seeing my Keynote though, right? Sorry, Janice is just saying you can't see my screen. So this is, what I'm showing now is I'm actually showing Keynote itself. So I'm not doing any of this in Ecamm at the moment. What I'm showing you is in this Ecamm scene, I'm showing you my Keynote application. So that's all I'm demonstrating at the moment. Bianca, the link to register is in the description, and I'm sure one of the moderators will have dropped it in somewhere as well. But yeah, and to answer Rich's question, the virtual cam in Keynote, it's not a virtual camera. It's to bring a live camera into Keynote itself. So if you've got a camera, then you can bring it into Keynote. So that's what I'm doing here. Then what I'm doing though is, once I've got the virtual camera into Keynote itself, that's when I'm then sharing that screen into Ecamm. Let me just step back a minute. Maybe I'm not explaining this actually as well as I could. Let me just come back out of here. I'll show you my whole screen like this. Let me get rid of this window, and I will get rid of this window as well. So over here, I've got my Keynote. And over here, I've got Ecamm. So this one is, this is where I'm creating the Keynote slides. And up here is where I've got my Ecamm. So maybe if I just show you how I did those animations at the beginning, that might make it all make a lot more sense. So here, these transitions that I've been using for the whole of today, and the same as I did yesterday, this was my title screen built in Keynote. And then here are these different scenes that I had, or different slides that I had with, what we're going to be covering today. And this is, again, all in Keynote. The reason I do it in Keynote is because we've got all of the animations. So in Keynote, if you look up at the animation tab just up at the top, you can animate all sorts of different things in here. So you can animate, the way things come into the screen, the way they come out of the screen, and you can choose here. So this is going to fly in from the right. And so on, and you can change that to make it whatever transition you want. And so if I was to come in and here, look at the sort of build order of this, this is going to show you all these things in Keynote. We're still in Keynote at the moment. So if I click on preview, it's going to show you all these different things coming in. This one here is showing you what's happening with that, the way that that sort of builds in. So we're just using the animations in Keynote. But then what I've got in Ecamm is I've got a scene here, which is basically just sharing the Keynote window. And what we do is we play the slideshow, but instead of playing a slideshow full screen, normally what happens in Keynote when you hit play slideshow, it's going to take over the whole screen. We don't want to do that. We want to play it in a window. So if I come up to the top here in Keynote and go to the play menu, you've got the option to play full screen or in window. So you can just check in window. And then when you play the slideshow, it will play it just in the window. You can also add, if you're someone who uses the buttons on the top in the toolbar, you can right click here, customize toolbar, and you'll find that there is an option to play in window, and you can just drag that into the toolbar so that then you've got it there. So when you then click play in window in Keynote, you've then got a free floating window with your animation. So this might look familiar. This is my presentation slides from earlier on, my Keynote slides. And then if I hit the next button, it's going to bring in those different things. And what you can see is because in Ecamm, I'm sharing the Keynote, you're seeing in Ecamm exactly what is coming into Keynote. And so the little trick here is the fact that rather than using a camera overlay, I'm actually just have one overlay, which is screen share overlay, bringing in the whole Keynote slide, complete with the live video camera. So what's the reason for doing that? Why am I not in this instance using just the sort of built-in camera overlays in Ecamm? And it's this ability to have these animations. So personally, I quite like this little animation that happens when I sort of go like this, click through all of these things, and then I want this transition where my camera slides over. So if you watch in a moment when I hit the next button on this slide, you'll see how the camera slides over. And then the other animation comes in. And that's using a feature in Keynote called Magic Move. So if I just zoom into this presentation a bit, and I'm going to quit out of the presentation. The way that Magic Move works is I'm going to come back to a really basic slide. I'm going to start with this slide here. Or in fact, I'll create a completely new slide. The way that Magic Move works is anything that you've got on the slide, if you create another slide and sort of move it to another position, then there is a transition that you can use that will just automatically animate between those two places. So it's easier if I just actually show you this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of demo mode and I'm going to go back into this one where you can just actually see exactly what I'm doing just in Keynote. So here we've got one slide. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a shape on here. So I'm going to just drop a little square. And then I'm going to go to the format menu just up at the top, and I'll make this bright red. Just to, actually, that doesn't stand out too well. I'll make it white. There we go. Now, if I was to then just duplicate this slide here, click on duplicate, and I'll move this over to this side here. So now I've got this slide, and I've got this one, these two slides. Now, if I go into the animate menu, and then look at this transition, so we can choose the transition, and then I will add an effect. And I'm going to use this one called Magic Move. And what that's going to do is, and it's showing you a little preview there, if I run this slideshow now, you'll see what happens is, if I advance to the next slide, it just automatically does that. So it actually makes it really easy to build out a series of animations where you don't have to, go through and sort of program, for want of a better word, exactly where something's going to move to. You can literally just create a chain of slides and then sort of move things about on them, and then it will deal with all of these sort of moving things in and out. So this is basically the way that I've done it because it applies to cameras. So let's just see how that might work with a camera if I just come out of this shot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this camera here. I'll just copy it and I'll drop it into here. So we're still in Keynote that we're looking at here. And I'm going to make this, this camera a little bit smaller. So if I was to put this down here and then copy it and go to the next slide, we can move this round just as much as we can move the other things round. So now if I play this slideshow, you can see how I've got the live video coming through into Keynote, and then I click on the button to go to the next slide, and then it is going to move around. So it allows you to do transitions with video. So that's the reason why I do some of these things in Keynote, because for these transitions where things are coming in and out, I find that it has quite a good, a nice effect to it. So the one that is in the file that you can download has basically got this little sequence of 3 to sort of show this effect, and it's something similar to what I've been doing here. But let me just play this one, and you'll see what the effect is. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to play this as a slideshow. So this is the sample file basically that you'll find with the download. And now if I advance to the next slide, again you'll see I slide over. It's got a dummy title. You can bring your bullets in and then, talk about whatever it is you're talking about. And then when you've finished, this can slide off the screen. And this is what I'm talking about when it's more of an immersive experience in terms of a presentation. It's much better than, perhaps a more traditional, talking to a deck of slides or something like that. But perhaps we can just talk a little bit about how you might use screen sharing to bring in, if you have got a traditional deck of slides that you just want to create an ad hoc presentation, we can look at that too. So if I just come out of this presentation for a second, and I'll show you a few different examples of basically going from a more traditional presentation up to that level. So here what I've got is, this is the presentation I've been doing today. And so I've basically got, this might be, a more traditional sort of slide deck where, things have just basically got a title and then some bullet points. So if you are going to be doing a presentation like that, maybe it's already created, you've got hundreds of slides in there and it's something you've been delivering all the time and you wanted to do that in Ecamm, then the way that you might choose to do that is, if I come over to my demo mode again, we're just going to still be sharing the screen. So I'll just play this in window. So we still want to share this slide. But what I'll do is I'll create a new slide, a new scene. And let's just call this Keynote 1. And whoops daisy, everything seems to have just frozen up on me a little bit. I don't want to do this update just now. So in this new slide here, I do apologize for not being quite as smooth as yesterday. If I add in a screen share here of the Keynote, I'm just going to select Keynote. So now you can see it's bringing in that slide full screen. So this is how you might potentially build out a scene just to share a regular slide deck. Put your camera back in again. Change to that one. Custom. And of course, you can get all of the layout and get the size of it exactly as you want it. But you might do something like that so that you are basically sharing your existing slide deck, you off to one side. And it's very much sort of replicating the idea of, standing at the side of a, a screen or something like that. Yeah, it's not quite got the same effect when you're off to one side and you've just got a series of, a load of data or whatever it is you happen to be presenting coming up on the other side. The next level up from that then would be to actually design your slides so that you've got a space for your camera to be in, and we can actually add that in Ecamm itself. So let's look at how you might do that one. This is basically, as I say, just basically presenting a standard slide deck. How about though, if we've got a slide deck where we've actually thought in advance and we think about like where we might want to put a camera. So here you can see in this slide deck, what I've got is, or in this particular slide format, I've got this space over here. So if you're starting out creating a whole new set of slides and you're not going to use the live camera into Keynote, maybe your camera is not compatible with it, or you don't have one that seems to be working with it, or you've got an older Mac or older system, then what you can do is just create all of your slides like this, leaving a space where you think, well, that's where I'm going to put my camera. Then what you would do in Ecamm is, let's just duplicate this slide for a second. I'll just duplicate this one. And we'll call that Keynote 2. And then in here, what we're going to do is we'll play this in window so that you'll see how this is going to look. I'm actually going to take that slide full screen, as in completely fill the space in Ecamm. And then I'm just going to put my camera like that. I might even just take the border off it as well. In fact, I definitely would. take the rounded corners off. So now in effect, we've basically got the output of Ecamm is exactly replicating the Keynote slide, except for we've also got our camera in it. And so now, if I just come out of demo mode for a second, now you can see how this is looking. And then if I was to advance through my slides in Keynote, the transitions, you'll see that the text is going to come in and you could go through all of your bullet points and do all of that. So this, I think, is like a step on from just a regular slide because you're sort of in the slide. So it's a little bit more immersive. But I do think that the best way is to have it where the text and you are actually part of the same thing rather than this little picture in picture. And so that is by far the best way to do that, is the way that I've just been showing with using the sort of the things that are animating from the side. Just to go into a little bit more depth on the way that I set that up specifically, and obviously you can play around with positions and things like that. One thing to just note as well, though, is always be conscious of where the slides are, if ever you're going to be referring to them, and make sure that your face is on the right side of them, as it were. So, for example, if I just start that presentation up again, I'll go back to that scene like this. You'll see that. Whoops, that's not the scene. This one here. You'll see that as I look over, I've got them on this side of me on my my monitor. So when I look at the actual slide, if I'm not looking at it in a teleprompter or something like that, it looks like I'm looking into the scene. What you don't want to do is have it where you are potentially, like if I was to go into this next one, and I've got all of the bullet points on this side, but then I've got my self over here. It looks odd if ever I'm sort of looking at it, but it looks like I'm looking off the screen. So always make sure that you're aware of where the actual source is going to be that you're looking at. And that also goes for any screen sharing as well, to be honest, of apps and things like that. Always be conscious of which side of you it is on, and always make sure that your camera is on the correct side. So you're always looking into the frame rather than out of it. So this is obviously all using the screen sharing and bringing things in and using camera overlays over the top of it. And to get this sort of immersive thing of, stuff basically coming into the screen. Let me just come back out of here for a second and I'll show you what I'm talking about. 1 second, come out of here. So this, just to show you how I did the transitions with that magic move just a little bit more, I'll talk about that. So I'll come into this mode just here. So this one where I had this thing flying in from the side, basically, if we just sort of zoom out, what you can see is I've got these shapes here that are off to one side. But then when I move to the next slide, I've just moved them so that they're on the screen. And the effect of that is, if I use the magic move, you can see how it appears that they're moving onto the screen because they start from being off the screen to being on the screen. So that's the way that I sort of created that little thing there. Let me just come and check on the comments for a second because I've probably got a little bit behind on those. So does it mean that I'm using Keynote slides for your entire presentation, or are you jumping in and out of the screen share? So yeah, depending on what I'm doing, I mean, today I'm obviously jumping in and out and probably a little bit too much. I'm confusing myself a little bit today. But normally when I'm doing like a standard presentation, I'm not going to be demoing the thing itself. So it'll be a combination actually of, where I've got something that has got graphics coming in and out, then that will be done in Keynote. But then I'm still obviously using all of the functionality of Keynote of Ecamm as well for those screen sharing scenes and stuff like that. So if I was going to be showing something else off in another scene, then I would do that in Ecamm, obviously. And in fact, if we take this scene, so let me just come to this one. I will just go to the scene just here, in fact. So if I play this scene, and then I'll just switch over. So now what you're seeing is a scene with me sharing Keynote, where I'm just sharing the live video feed coming into Keynote. But I have actually exactly replicated that in Ecamm. So now you're looking at the one in Ecamm, and you can see there's a slight color difference. But if I'm just sort of switching in and out of them, and I'm not going from one directly to the next, you would never really sort of notice that. So there is the subtle difference of this is Keynote live video, and this is it coming into Ecamm. So there is a slight difference in the color, but I'm not too fussy about those kind of things. How do you fit the straight corners of the live video into rounded frame corners? So in Keynote, let me come back to that. I will just share this screen, and let's exit out of this one. In the live video, let me come to this one, for example. When you drop the live video in it, right, there we go, we'll come to this one. You've got all of the same functions as you have with everything else. So if I go into Format, you can see here, in fact, you can't see because it's just off the screen. Do beg your pardon. There we go. Bring that over here. You can see that the live video, you can change the size of it. So you can change the cropping of the camera within the frame. You can obviously change the size of the frame. You can also change the corner radius. So you can put corner radius on it like that. That is just over here, corner radius. You can also just come and drag this little green dot. So you can change the corner radius like that. This is all in Keynote still, obviously. You can add a background color to it. In fact, you wouldn't do that because there you go. That's going to basically cover it up. You wouldn't do that. You've also got styling, so you can add a border to it. And I basically replicated in my Keynote slide, I replicated the scene I'd created in Ecamm so that they're both like an exact match for each other. So you can come in here and just change the style like that. So apologies for jumping around in Keynote. There's there's a lot to Keynote that I'm just taking for granted. Things like when you are in Keynote, these little panels on the top here. So you've got the format, animate, and things like that. So when you're in the format menu, you've got style, and you can change things. If you've got a shape selected, you can change all the colors, borders, and so on. There's a lot more to that. That I'm just taking for granted. One of the great things that I think that people should get into the habit of showing in in Keynote, which is not always shown, is this panel here, which is the object list. So if you have a look in the in Keynote, look in the where is it now? Let me just expand this one out. The view, and then show the object list. View, well, it says hide object list at the moment, but it's this one that's got all of the different elements that are on the screen. And the reason why that's useful is because it shows you, but just like the overlays in Ecamm, that you want to see the sort of order that they're in. So if I come into here and click on show object list, I've lost it again. There we go. You'll see that as I sort of duplicate these objects, then they're appearing down here. But it means that you can reorder like where they're appearing. So if you want this one to be in front of that, you can just drag and drop it like that, just like with Ecamm. So it's very similar in terms of that. There's so much to go into in Keynote that this isn't a Keynote demo, so I don't want to go in too deep into that. However, I do cover all of this sort of stuff in my on my YouTube channel as well, and I also created something called the Take One Tech Academy, which is basically for sort of leveling up presentation skills and things like that. And so you can find out more about that at takeonetech.io/academy. And I've actually got a Keynote masterclass coming up, which is all about that. So you can find out more information about that there. Just head over to my website, which is linked down below as well, and then you can find out more about that and all the other courses that come as part of that. So that's if you want to dive into a lot more of these things in more depth, rather than just I'm glossing over some of the technicalities of the tutorials for Keynote here, because it's, as I say, not supposed to be a Keynote tutorial. So what do you do though if you don't have the live camera functionality in Keynote, but you do want to still have this idea of the immersive presentation with titles coming in and out of the screen? Well, there is actually another way that you can do that using the green screen feature on the screen share. So just as in cameras, you can basically key out the green behind you if you've got a green screen to leave a sort of transparency. Well, you can actually also do that with screen share overlays as well. So what that allows you to do is, if I just bring up this scene over here for a second, this one, and then I'll just activate Keynote. Let me see if I got this set up quite correctly. I'm going to take this overlay here and just make this full size. I beg your pardon while I set this up. Play in window. In fact, what I'll do is I'll come into demo mode and I'll show you what I am doing here. I've got a screen share here, which I'm going to select as being Keynote once again. I'm going to take off the border and then I'm going to have it fill the entire screen. So now what I've got is this looks like just a green screen in Keynote. And here you can see it's completely covering the screen in Ecamm. If I click the little pencil icon here, you've got this option here to activate green screen. And that's basically going to make anything that's green in Keynote invisible in Ecamm. So what that allows you to do then is that allows you to have some animations, things like this. So you can see there that we've got a transition and you could see through the transparent text. You could also have things where it is going to, oops, Daisy, I go back to the right thing. This is not my best demo today, I have to admit. Let me try this again. So here, if I advance this slide, we've basically got the effect of the things transitioning in from the side. I can bring in my other titles. And it is basically now transparent over the top of Ecamm. So I'm not using the Keynote live video feature. This is just a regular Ecamm scene. But what I've got is a transparency over the top of it with all of the animated bullets and things like that coming in Keynote. And then I can do something similar to the other titles that fly in from the bottom. So that is just going to be the same thing. Those are just going to pop up there and then drop out. So you can add these sort of titles in. And all that is then is if I come back into my Keynote scene for a second to show you how this looks. I feel like there's been a lot of jumping around here, so apologies if that has been a little bit confusing. So here we are in Keynote, and what you can see is those slides then that we've just gone through. There's this one. This was those bullet points that came out from the side. There's this one, which is that title at the bottom. And that was basically just animated. So again, I'd got basically a different build. So if I bring in my animation panel, click on this one here, this title, click on the animate button at the top. So you can see that that's basically got a fade and scale. That's the transition for it coming in. You have different builds, by the way. A build in is the way that something enters the scene or enters the slide. The action is something that happens whilst it's in there. And then build out is the way that it exits. So in this case, this one at the bottom, this blue strip, that's got a build in where it moves from the bottom up. And the build out is it's going to move from the top or slide down rather. And if I go to the build order at the bottom here, let me just show you where that was. It's off the bottom of your screen. The build order is where you can order like the order of those different animations. So the first one is the build in, where the rectangle comes in. That title there, where it says section title, that then builds in. Then there's a pause, and then it basically builds out. So if I preview that build in, you can see there it comes in from the bottom. And then if I preview the build out, it's going to go like that. And so because the rest of the screen is all green, when we've brought that in as an overlay in Ecamm and we've removed the green screen, all you are seeing is this title here. This one here, this was a whole series of different shapes. So I've got these different shapes that move in. So I've got a transition where those move in. And then I had this title which says your title. And you'll notice that that is green as well. And so the way that looked then, if you now can sort of see how that sort of animation's moving, so the green triangle, the blue triangles move in from the sides, then the title moves across the top of it, and then the blue triangles move out again. So the way that actually looks in reality, if I come back to my Ecamm scene here, I'll play this in window, and I'll turn that back on again. So now you'll see that the blue triangles move in. The green text moves across, but because it's green, Ecamm removes the green and we see through it, and then it moves, and then the triangles move back out again. So that is the way that you can use this green screen screen sharing feature to do that. And as I say, the examples that I've put in the sample file that you'll get with the download, they're really sort of basic. There's not a lot to it in terms of what what it shows, but it's to show the principle and the animations. And really, there's no end of the way that you can use this then to animate all sorts of things coming on, and using the advanced animation functionality that you've got in Keynote to then add these sort of different effects. And it could be anything from lower thirds, with names and things like that coming on, or it could be whole sequences of slides and whole presentation that you're going to give like that. Let me just come to some of these chat comments once again. Is it possible to use Keynote from an iPad Pro with the same results? It certainly is, because when you plug an iPad into your computer, then with obviously a cable, whatever kind of iPad you've got, Ecamm will actually see that just as a camera. And so in actual fact, all of the green screen stuff you could certainly do with in Keynote on an iPad, and then just use a camera overlay and turn on the green screen. And so you'd get exactly the same effect. And it could just be run from an iPad. Same with if you've got a secondary computer. So today I'm doing it all on one computer just so that it's easier for me to show you everything. But you can actually run this from a second computer, use a HDMI out of your second computer, bring that into a Camlink adapter, and then have that show up as a camera and do all the presentation stuff that way. Can you use Keynote with interview mode? So interview mode, you're going to be bringing in all the cameras into Ecamm, but you can still certainly do graphics and overlays and things like that. And if you mean on the guest side, I'm going to be talking about interview mode tomorrow. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about is how you can actually bring guest presentations in. So the guest can share their screen and they could share their keynote. And so you could actually do something very similar where the guest is the one that is controlling all of this. Or you could do something with remote production where somebody else is controlling all of the graphics and things like that because it is a screen share from one of your guests. But we'll talk all about that tomorrow, actually. So a very good point. And can we use the Keynote presentation in Ecamm? Can we utilize those in a Zoom meeting? Totally. This is going to transform your Zoom meetings, in fact, because everyone's so used to people just showing up in Zoom with their camera. When they want to talk about something, they screen share in Zoom and then they just disappear into a little box in the corner, and you can't really give that sort of immersive presentation. When you show up to a Zoom meeting and you're bringing in all of your presentations through Ecamm and it's just going straight in, and basically, what you're seeing right now is, what people would see in the Zoom meeting. And it just totally changes the sort of level of presentation you've got. That's what we're going to be covering on day 4, is all about the virtual camera and the virtual mic and how to use that in Zoom. So definitely. For me, that's almost like my primary use of Ecamm, in fact, is for presentations and things like that in meetings. So let's have a look. When you use the camera in Keynote and screen share, does it create any kind of video lag? I tried and noticed the animations were just a little jittery. Not so much actually on the animations. There is that setting though in Ecamm for the prioritizing frame rate over the quality. So you could try and play around with that. But for the sort of things I'm doing, to be honest, where I'm just wanting to bring, bullet points, titles, and stuff like that in. Because if anybody's putting reams of text up in their presentations, they probably need to take a presentation class in any case. So for me, I find it's all right. And certainly for the video, I don't find that it introduces any additional lag to the lag that you're already getting from like from a Camlink or something like that. That's likely to be where you would get the lag. So I'm not noticing that myself. So I think I've covered some of those. Let me just come back. So in terms of Michael, the replays, all of the sessions this week are on YouTube. So you just go and follow the link again. There is a playlist. Go to the Ecamm Live channel as well, and you'll find all of the replays because it's just a YouTube video at this point. After the live stream's finished, it stays up as a live video, as a replay. It's just the Zoom call that is on next Monday, that you'll want to register for to make sure that you get access to that. Used NDI for PowerPoint sharing, but I guess screen sharing is easier. The other thing I think other thing about NDI is that is something that does introduce lag. So I've tried using NDI before with it running on a separate computer, but I do definitely find there is some lag there. It's not always quite as smooth that way. The old way of creating a slide with cutout parts is now not necessary anymore. So you can still do that. And in fact, in the template that I've given, I did still use a part of the slide for the border did still have a cutout just so that I could move the camera left and right behind it. So I did kind of still do that. But yeah, you don't need to build scenes in Ecamm the way that we used to all those months ago. Do you set magic move in between two slides, and or can you apply to all of the slides? Yeah, you can highlight slides and then apply the magic move to them that way. I just tend to I've created it for 1 or 2 slides, and then I'm duplicating those slides. So it's duplicating the magic move with it. There's other settings as well in that. Again, I won't go into a full Keynote tutorial, but you can also set like the timing, so how long the transition takes, and then you can have it set so it does it automatically. You can chain different things together. So if you wanted something to move around on the screen from here to there and then back down there and across or whatever, you could do that over 4 slides, but have them all transition automatically between them, so you're not like sort of pressing a button each time. Is there another tutorial about Keynote for beginners? I'm sure there is on the Ecamm channel. I'm not just too sure exactly where to find that, but there definitely is. And I've got stuff on my channel as well about that too. Can you show us how your monitors and teleprompter are set up on your desk? I saw that you use a mouse. Is there a benefit to using a mouse over a trackpad? I've never got into trackpads personally. I always just find a mouse to be a lot more versatile for me. I can show you my desk setup though, just since somebody asked about that, because this sort of plays into how I do my presentations normally. So if I switch over to this camera here, so normally for my tutorials, then this monitor here will be, as I said before, sort of 6 different slots for showing off different apps. And then here, my teleprompter. So this is a 12-inch teleprompter that I see the output from Ecamm in. And then down here is where I see the chat and everything like that. So it means that on a live stream, I've basically got the chat sort of close by, but then all of the stuff that I'm demoing is off over to the side. So that is the way that I'm set up from that point of view. So will the new camera switcher in Ecamm Live show the shared screen from Keynote as a source to be changed when desired? No, so because the Keynote is a screen share, it's not going to show up as in the camera switcher, because the camera switcher is by definition just for overlays. It would, however, show up if you were running it on a separate computer. So if you are running everything on your presentation on a separate computer and bringing it in over HDMI into a cam link and bringing it in that way, then yes, that would then show up as a camera and therefore would show up in the camera switcher. If you were doing anything with live video as well that way, then technically that could be assigned as one of your isolated videos that we talked about yesterday as well. Probably a little bit out of sync with this. So right now I'm actually not in Keynote. I'm in the Ecamm, but you really wouldn't tell the difference apart from slight different coloration difference. So in fact, yeah, there I was. Let me come to this one here. So here is basically the slide. Where are we? I'll come to this one. So if I play that in window, this is the difference between I'm in Keynote now, and then if I go to this one here, now that is just regular Ecamm. So you don't really notice the difference too much. It's just a slight difference in the color. Also, I think I'm a little bit more zoomed in. Can you add a whoosh FX to the Keynote transitions? You can, yeah. So all of the transitions that you've got, you can add. So if you want to just see something a little bit ridiculous, then what we could also do is if I come over to here, I could come into one of these slides. Let me just share my screen so I can show you what I'm doing. In fact, let's come into one of these. So like this one, for example, what I could do is I've got this this slide here. I could come in and add an effect. So let's say I'll add an effect and just choose one of these silly ones like that. So we've got a little twirl. So now if I was to play that scene, play it in window. where are we? I've gotten to the wrong one. Oh, I didn't I didn't activate it. I beg your pardon. There we go. Bin. Okay. So then if I play this now, so I could have a transition where the camera comes in like that. So all of the transitions, however ridiculous there are in in Keynote, technically you could use those in your Ecamm production by bringing it in this way. I'll just say less is more, and we'll leave it there. So there is a limit to how you should be doing these things. I think some people can go a little bit overboard with the animations. Some may say I already have done, but there we go. So let me just come down here. So no need for NDI for all of this. No, as I say, I'm using Keynote on the same computer, or it could be on a second one. We will hit on bringing in Zoom comments. Yeah, there is a way to do that I can talk about. I'll probably link to another tutorial because that's quite an in-depth thing, but in the Zoom section, we'll talk about that. In the Zoom session on Monday. So if you register in the description or in the description of this video or in the chat, you'll find it somewhere that you can basically get access, register, and then you'll get a link to the Zoom thing. I don't think the Zoom link has been sent out yet. It will get sent out, prior to the event, actually on Monday. And yes, you will get a link for that. So the Zoom is a Zoom session. It's basically I've allowed 2 hours, but it can run over if necessary. It's just a live Zoom session to come in. If you've got any specific burning questions, or you've tried any of these things out, you've got any issues, you need troubleshooting, I'll be there to help out with all of that. So there's no specific agenda. It's a case of coming with any questions you've got, and we'll go through and try and sort all of those out. Can you add sound effects to Keynote slides? Yes, you can. And in fact, it's a very good point. I'll come to that in a moment because there's something we need to talk about in terms of when it comes to sound with screen sharing. So we'll come back to that as well. And am I using Stream Deck and hotkeys to move directly to different slides in Keynote on demand? I'm not doing it to specifically pick out certain slides, but normally what I would do is if I come to my Keynote thing here, so this is, what I've been using today. I've got a series of slides that go through all of the different things, that I've been going through today with all of the different animations and examples and so on. So then there is a Stream Deck plugin for Keynote that basically just advances to the next slide. So I've just got a button that goes to the next one. So that's how I'm sort of going through these different transitions and using that. So it's just part of the Stream Deck. The Stream Deck's always going to be the sort of hub of everything for me. So yeah, I just love it. It's kind of like mission control, really. So it's controlling Ecamm, Keynote. If I was in Zoom, it would be controlling everything on Zoom as well. So that is how I am doing that. In terms of the audio, though, there is something that we need to talk about there, which is when in your Ecamm settings. So let me just bring this one up, and I'll just switch back to this scene. And I need to switch this over because we played around with this a little bit. I come to here and go to Preferences. I'll tell you what I'll do. It looks like I've changed the cropping on that. Let me just do it this way, the easy way. So here is the Ecamm Live preferences. We've talked about the screen share preferences. This one here, by the way, show everything when sharing the entire screen. That's a little bit like live demo mode in that you see all of the Ecamm interface. Ordinarily, that is excluded. But when you click this one, it will show everything when you share the entire screen. However, that's only when you're using the screen share as the scene source. If you're using a screen share overlay, that still doesn't actually apply. In terms of the Pro Mouse and including the cursor, you can choose to include the regular cursor or not. So obviously it's still not going to include Pro Mouse unless you share the way that I talked about earlier. But you can choose to include that. You can also just change the size. So you can see it's changing the size of the arrow on the screen. So if you aren't using something like Pro Mouse, or another one is Mouse Pose, that's something similar, then yeah, you can increase the size of it. You can also show mouse clicks. So when I click on things, you're going to actually see that on the screen as well. But what you also want to come to is where it says audio, and then you've got this option here, broadcast system audio. And the three options you've got are either never, so system audio will never come through. The reason why I have that one on now is because I've got everything coming through my Rodecaster. or when sharing the screen, which is likely what you'll want. That is in fact the default. So that means when you share the screen, anything on your system audio is going to come through, or you can have it share it all the time. I'm not quite sure why you'd want it sharing your system audio all the time, because then even when you're not sharing the screen, any notifications or things like that that come through would potentially come into your production. So when you've got this set though, when sharing the screen, there is somewhere else where you need to actually set the audio. So if I was in my Keynote scene, for example, so let me just, in fact, I'll just do it with this. I'll just add in a screen share overlay. Let me unlock that scene. I'm just going to add this in. So we've got another screen share overlay up here. When I click the little pencil icon next to it, can you see this here that says activate system audio capture? So even though we've enabled it in the system or in the Ecamm preferences, we still have to also activate it in here so that that allows the audio to pass through. So that's basically just coming back to this question about, can you have sound effects in Keynote that are going to come through in your Ecamm presentation? Then yes, but you do need to make sure you've got system audio activated in preferences. And then also for that specific Keynote overlay, you want it to activate when you've got that active. And then any audio sound effects that you've got in Keynote will then come through. So Michael, yes, the recording, I'm going to record the Zoom session, and so we can send that out to everyone as well. So yeah, even if you can't make it or can't make all of it, you will still get a recording. Assuming obviously you've registered, which you have. So yes, that's how that is going to work. So if you've got any other questions, I've looked at all of the Q colons. I think I've got to all of them, but if there is anything else, and if any of this is unclear, by the way, then do feel free to drop a question in the Ecamm group, and feel free to tag me as well. I think I've got most of them. So yeah, I think I've got all of those. So just seeing if I've missed anything. So if I was then going to go back to my my little outro, I'll just show you how I'm going to do this, and you can sort of follow along. So I'll just share my whole screen. Here I've got my my final two slides. Whoops, daisy, that's the wrong one. This one. I've got to select the right Ecamm window first of all. And just let me come back to this this question. Where are the downloads and resources? So they'll be sent out by email. If you haven't received them, maybe just check in with marketing@ecamm.com. But yeah, they'll be coming out on a daily basis, so you don't get them sent all at once. But if you're registered, they should come through that way. That's a good point actually about PowerPoint. Francisco, I know that PowerPoint has a live cam feature. Do you know if it's generally a much better idea to use Keynote instead of PowerPoint for what you're showing, or do they both work equally well? I've not played with the live video feature in PowerPoint. The thing to make sure you do with that as well, though, is that you also play the thing in a window, unless you've got a dedicated monitor that you're going to have it play on. But with both Keynote and with PowerPoint, the default is that they're going to want to take over the whole screen. So having them play in a window is really useful. There's one other thing, by the way. If you are somebody who wants to have speaker notes, so I know a lot of people use speaker notes for presentations. Whilst we're on this, it's the same for PowerPoint as well. Excuse my throat. If I come into my demo mode again, I'll just show you where you can activate the speaker notes if you do want to use speaker notes. So I'm going to play this in a window. Then just up at the top here, you can see that you've got this option, show the speaker notes. And when I click on that, it's going to activate another window somewhere. Let me click on that again. It's activated off somewhere else. It's on another screen hidden somewhere. Interesting. I'm not quite sure where that's gone. It's hidden behind something because of the way I'm zoomed in. But that is how you basically show, as you can see, it says there, show presenter notes, and that will pop up in a separate window. So if you did want to have, your presentation running, coming into Ecamm, and then maybe have the speaker notes down underneath your teleprompter or whatever, then you can do that. So yes, if I just come down to a couple of these last questions. I just want to be conscious of time and respectful of everyone's time as well. Is there a video showing my studio background setup, specifically what is using for lighting? You'll find a link to my YouTube channel down in the description, Take One Tech. You can search for Take One Tech. And I've done a fairly recent studio tour where I did a lot of the sort of updates to lighting and stuff like that. So you can find that all there. The link to my masterclass on Keynote. The Keynote masterclass isn't actually out yet, but it's part of my Take One Tech Academy, and I've got a rollout schedule. I can drop a link into that though, and you can check that out, and it tells you the sort of rollout schedule. So at the moment, it's the Zoom masterclass, Rodecaster masterclass, and the Ecamm masterclass that I've got in there, and then I've got a whole series of other ones coming. So I'll just drop that in there as well. Do I always use a Stream Deck multi-step process to open Ecamm, and then the Stream Deck command to ensure the right app is selected? I have a whole setup workflow actually, Tommy, where it opens, for whatever I'm doing, it'll open all the apps, and then Moom puts them all in the correct place. And it even opens all of the Ecamm windows. So for live streaming, for example, I don't need to have the comment. I need to have the comments open and the bandwidth monitor. But when I'm just making regular videos, I don't. So I have an action that sort of closes down everything that I don't need in there as well. So I think that covers all of those. As I say, I want to be conscious of time. I know Katie's got a live coming up as well, so I just need to be conscious about that as well. But there is a challenge today. There's a challenge every day. And whoopsie-daisy, if I show the correct thing on here. The challenge for today, I'll tell you why it is. It's because I've got the speaker notes open. Now, where is the speaker notes? The speaker notes are hiding somewhere off the screen. I think that's the issue. Where are they? The challenge for today is that you've got to try out creating a presentation in Ecamm and in Keynote, and bring it in using the screen share feature. So you can find, as I say, the download of the template that you can perhaps use as a starting point, but try out some of those animations and bringing things onto the screen. And then if you've given these things a go, then by all means go and try and present them in the Ecamm Live Facebook group or in the Discord as well. And be sure to tag them with Ecamm Advanced 23, I think is the hashtag, but maybe somebody can correct me on that, Katie or Paul or whoever. So yeah, be sure to go and try out those in there. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about interview mode, and this is going to be specifically looking at how to set things up from your side. A lot of people don't realize that there's a way you can add a little bit of branding to the links that you're sending out so that they look more professional to your guests. If you are using this to, interview fellow professionals and you want to sort of look the part, then there's some things that we can do there. But then also there's some things that need to be done in terms of just basically preparing your guests to make sure that they understand exactly what to expect in terms of, when they join, what's the process, because it's not quite the same as being on a Zoom call. You might think, oh, well, yeah, you're just going to select your camera and so on. But there is a little bit more to it than that. So we're talking about that. And then also the sort of process once they are on the interview, and then how you can use that as well to then present virtual conferences, take people into your Zoom calls, have, guest speakers and things like that in there. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Any questions that have come up from anything that I've talked about today, then obviously feel free to drop those in the Ecamm group, and do feel free to tag me if you've got any specific questions, or leave a comment down below as well. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you found this useful, and I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, with a bit of a better throat. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you all at same time tomorrow.